I've been photographing basketball courts all around the world for almost a decade now, and this is the video about how it all started. How one photo turned into this never-ending passion project, which I call World of Hoops. There are three things that got me interested in basketball, or at least three. Let's start at the beginning. For that, we need to go back to my youth, to the early 90s, the time of the rise of the internet, Nintendo, girls and boy bands, and all that other good stuff. And yes, also Michael Jordan. He will be the first influence. Yeah, he was the most famous person walking the earth during the 90s, and everybody wanted to be like Mike. He wasn't just a star, he was the NBA, he was basketball. But I guess I don't have to tell you that, because you probably already know. Somebody who also played basketball, nowhere near as good as Michael Jordan by a long shot, was my brother, my older brother, Jasper. Look at his photo, he was covered in basketball. He was a little baller. But even though he wasn't as skilled as Michael Jordan, his influence on me getting interested in basketball was definitely bigger. So yeah, that will be influence number 2. The third influence? The team logos. Nothing beats those NBA logos from the 90s. Those cool designs just drew me in, especially the Hornets, the Vancouver Grizzlies with an angry bear, and the Raptors. They all had cool characters and nice colors. Maybe I was already a designer back then. Before I knew it, I was also covered in basketball gear, just like my brother, with caps, jackets, shirts, and pendants. I even put them up. Zoom them back in. So yeah, at some point there was even a 2x2 meter wall painting of the Hornets logo in my room. For whatever reason, my mom never took a photo of it, so yeah, no proof, didn't happen. And of course, back in the day, you had the All-Star weekend, which was special back then, which also added coolness to the sport. I still watch that legendary 2000 dunk contest on YouTube somewhere. The classic, it's over, still gets me to this day. But around the age of 17, 18, I started to lose interest in basketball. I didn't play, I also didn't follow it. Life happened, I had other interests, you know. So we fast forward to 2015. I went traveling, a solo trip around the world. Thought it would be good for my social development, because it's kind of like every day is your first day at school and you need to make new friends again and again and again. And I had some goals and challenges during this trip, like traveling only with carry-on, hitting all the continents before I turned 30. Anyway, I traveled for 7 months from China to Argentina, and in the first week being in China, I bought a bicycle to bike to the wall. This was kind of like one of those goals that I had. I went to a shop, tested out some bikes, bought one, a really nice white foldable one, added a basket to it because that's handy, you can put stuff in that you want to grab. And yeah, the next day I would start riding towards the ball. It was crazy hot that day, I remember. I had a few liters of water with me, but they were gone in no time. So I had to stop somewhere because I was just outside of Beijing and there was a gas station there. So I went there, parked my bike next to the gas station and I looked around. I saw some like random things, like a table tennis table with matching red shoes on it, a big colorful board that kind of felt like a kindergarten thing more than a gas station thing. And there was a hoop there. And I thought, who plays basketball here? It felt so random, such an odd place to have a basket. Maybe interesting to photograph. So I took this photo, click. And that's the first picture of the project. That's how it started. I didn't think much of it after I rode towards the wall. I had some issues with the bike, the tire exploded. I thought this is the end, I'm not gonna do this anymore. But then for some reason I was able to trade my bike with a Chinese construction worker without talking for a way shabbier one. It was all covered in dust, it did not have brakes. But yeah, I could continue the journey to the wall. So I biked 70 kilometers to the wall, walked on it, put that check off my list. But next things that I really wanted to do was visiting the biggest ghost city called Ordos. I took a taxi, a train and went on foot and ended up at this place that was built for millions and only thousands lived there. It was surreal. I stayed at a hotel and was the only one there. The craziest thing about it was that in the hotel lobby, they played the anthem music of the X-Files. I don't know if you know the theme of the X-Files, but it's creepy. It felt like Scully and Mulder could walk right in, you know? But yeah, I went exploring the town. I went to the main attraction, the museum. And what did I encounter there? A lonely basketball hoop next to the entrance of a museum where there were no people. Again, it felt very out of place, a weird location. So yeah, I thought I took the photo of the gas station like 2 or 3 days earlier. Why not this one? Click, took the photo. I didn't think about that picture as I continued traveling to China until I arrived in Tianduchen. Probably butchering the name, but yeah. Also known as Little Paris. This was the second ghost town that I really wanted to visit. It was a replica of Paris with even an Eiffel Tower. After strolling around in this weird deserted town, standing underneath the Chinese Eiffel Tower, I spotted another weird thing, a basketball hoop. Again, its location felt so odd underneath the Eiffel Tower. So I thought about the 2 photos that I took earlier. I could also take this one then, I guess. So click, took that photo. I continued my travels to the States, cross country from LA to New York. I didn't photograph a single court, none. Didn't even look for them because, well, they're on every corner. So they're not that weird. But after the US, I went to Colombia. And there I came across a few exciting ones, like exotic courts with graffiti, cool colors. And they all were a little bit tired and run down. Like this one in the public park of Cartagena, surrounded with bright red flowers and colorful buildings in the background. It was this court that made me realize this was becoming like a little project. I thought, hey, this could be a cool way of exploring new places and navigating through a city. So for the rest of the trip, I kept an eye out for courts and collected a few. Eventually, I came home and decided to continue my journey of these courtside adventures. But who would have known or thought that I would be still hunting them down after almost a decade? Certainly not me. Well, I'm Thijs, a creative designer. I shoot hoops as a hobby. See you in the next video.